So I've just discovered a new, he's been working on this for decades, but this just showed up in my feed today. John McMurtry. And so I'm watching a speak that he's doing at Zeitgeist Toronto. I didn't even know Zeitgeist came to Toronto. This was in 2014, so this is quite a while ago. And so his topic was life capital versus money capital, winning the war of the world, right? So it's an interesting conversation that sort of follows with some of the themes that I've been exploring myself, particularly in and around reform, really. And I think that what we're fundamentally talking about here is market reform. And I think that's a difficult area because there is this belief, yes, that the market is self-adjusting, it's self-regulating. Which okay, business 101. Capitalism is fundamentally a self-regulating system and thus perfect by nature. And I think capitalism version 1, that is true. Because when you think about, I guess, where the concept maybe originally derived from, the practice of selling goods, exchange for goods, and then the sort of, so you had production happening, and then sort of in tandem or in parallel with production, you had the production and circulation of money, which was eventually currency. So these two things were happening at the same time, and I guess in complement to one another. And I think in the simplest terms, this idea of just exchange of products is a really simple process. It's I make something, I bring it to market, right? I bring it to market, people either like it or they don't. If they don't like it, it wasn't good enough. Or maybe it's, my product against Bob's product. It's similar products. Bob does a better job. People pick Bob. So from that perspective, self-regulating. And if it had remained that simple, that you could get away with this idea that, that the markets have an implicit sort of pristine quality to them. But that I don't think holds water, just because I think the nature of innovation and competition is complexity. It's complicated. And I think the landscape gets very complicated very quickly, and money got complicated very quickly. Money is complicated. Like money is complicated, and a lot of people don't understand money. I mean, you understand but again, at its basic, it makes perfect sense. But there's a lot, like when you really sort of, my experience this year, particularly where this idea of market reform is concerned, has just been this down this horrible, never-ending rabbit hole. But you look at something like money, and money is a very mysterious part of our lives in terms of how it comes into being, and money management, and then money systems, right? Money systems. Investment seems like a simple thing. It's really not. And so there's a lot of themes. It comes back to this idea of equilibrium, right? And as human beings, our sense of autonomy comes from our ability to understand and manage our environment. And our environments are hidden to us. We don't understand them, you sort of understand them. I feel like life is pretty much this very surface level experience where you understand it just enough to spend money on it. And then the rest of it is just you cross your fingers and hope it works. And that's money. That's money management. That's pretty much how most people move through life, right? It's just, you understand it, okay, enough to sort of, put down, a bill or two or three, and then you go home hoping it works out. And, and I guess the degree that it does work out probably means it's a good enough product. And if it doesn't, then, well, I don't know what happens then. I mean, I think there's a lot of instances when it doesn't work out, but the market's so complicated that people don't. I mean, the market's so complicated that you have investments being made, what they call, I can't even think of the terminology for it, but it's basically the type of investment wherein it makes money when investments lose. How is that legal? I don't know, but it is. And, so, I don't know how there's no equilibrium in a system like that. Another way of saying that is there's no sanity in a system like that. You can't get to sane if there are people banking on your instability, banking on it, making money off it, making profit off of your failure. And that's capitalism? That's capitalism version, 4.7 perhaps, So, and this version, this iteration that we live inside of, this iteration of capitalism is not linear. There's a lot. We're living inside of. I think what's happened in our market is that our market has become fractal. So we don't understand it. It's a mystery to us. Much like your phone is just this magical device that makes things happen, the economy is a lot like that, right? The marketplace is a lot. You don't understand how it works. And yet you're convinced that it's trustworthy, to have faith in it. Just have faith in it. It'll take care of you. You'll make money. You'll succeed. And that's how you're encouraged to be inside of the system, right?